What a pleasure to talk about the Canadian company Soucy with you, sir. Before you tell us about a major product developed by Soucy in the field of defense, would you mind please introduce yourself?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, sir, and it's always good to talk about Soucy. I am a retired U.S. Army officer, armor and cavalry, served across a number of our operational theaters at every level. And I've been with Soucy now as their director for the U.S. Defense Business Development side for the U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps for about the last 4.5 years.
Soucy is a brand name that deserves to be better known to the armies that operate battle tanks and other tracked vehicles. Why?
Well, Soucy is actually a commercial company, so folks don't always understand that, but it has been a leader in what I'll call composite rubber track technology, both on the commercial and the defense side for over 50 years. In the U.S., it's been involved in about 5 different programs since the 1980s. And the Soucy technology focuses on really 2 things that are critical in my mind. One is the advanced rubber product and compound capability that Soucy brings to bear through its business units, as well as the advanced technology for manufacturing composite rubber tracks, especially when we look at defense requirements in high-capacity tracks.
Would you mind please elaborate on the tactical advantages of operating combat vehicles fitted with Soucy tracks?
I'm going to put this in the context, if you will, of what we in the U.S. at least are calling our operational environment. So a very complex, high-intensity environment for combat operations or tactical operations. So the composite rubber track gives us the ability for improved maneuver and mobility, so agility on all terrain. It gives us operational reach that's primarily focused on the reduced logistics and sustainment burden. It also provides a signature reduction, both acoustic and thermal, which on a complex battlefield is critical. Low maintenance, that reduces the workload of both the crew and the formation. Reduced vibration and the effect that has on both weapons systems as well as the electronic systems and the crew for that matter. And then the reduced system weight, which allows for better mobility and maneuverability, but also allows for a trade space, if you will, on the platform for the insertion of more advanced capabilities.
Could you give us some figures about the advantages, the logistical advantages of operating Soucy tracks in comparison with the standard steel tracks?
To start off with, there is roughly a 40 to 50% reduction in system weight versus a steel track equipped platform. So that assists in your mobility and maneuverability of the platform. Fuel efficiency is 20 to 30% reduced or improved. So that either allows increased operational reach, farther distance on a tank of fuel, if you will, or it allows you to also reduce the logistics train. So less fuel trucks exposed to your adversary activity in the case of your normal operations. The reduced acoustic signature, which I mentioned earlier, is up to 13.5 decibels. In robotic operations, that is very significant. It basically gives you a silent or quiet operational capability in combination with, let's say, hybrid electric drive. And then the vibration reduction is up to 70%. And this has an impact both on crew, your crew and human factors, and also on your electronics and weapon systems in terms of life cycle.
We mentioned before the maintenance aspects of Soucy tracks in comparison with steel tracks. Do you have figures regarding the time needed to replace a Soucy track in comparison with a steel track?
So that's a very good question, sir. As I said in the introduction, I was an armor cavalry officer for over 25 years in the U.S. Army, and I've changed every method of track on all of the Army's platforms, Abrams, 113, Bradley, etc. And to change a steel track in an operational environment could take several hours, depending on the damage to the track, how badly the track was thrown, for example. In the case of composite rubber track, we've seen the ability to change one side of track, for example, in about 45 minutes to an hour.
So Soucy is definitely in a position to make tank crews happy.
Yes, in fact, the feedback that we have received really across the board, to include here in the U.S. as well as from other global users, is that universally the response tends to be something like, "Why haven't we done this before?"
Well, thank you very much indeed for having given us the whole picture of what Soucy has in mind and actually produces already.
Thank you very much, sir.